Hello and welcome back to another episode of Outlanders. We are on episode 12 and I just hit a magma block. We are on episode 12 and we're starting things off in the shopping district. Now, as you might recall a little while ago, we said we're going to make this place all green with moss and grass. Sadly, we've not really done much with that, and I don't intend to do that today either. It might just happen to be like this for a long time. But that is not what we're here today to do. We're not here to complain, we're here to build something. And you might be thinking, it's a shopping district, we're going to build another shop. But you'd be wrong. I've had the thought recently, because I've managed to get myself a lot of heads, some of them by pranks and some of them by buying, that I think I might invent a little bit of a mini game. So I've got a little bit of an idea in my head, which I guess that's what all ideas are really. I got a little bit of an idea where I'm going to do it and what it's going to be. It's basically going to be a maze, which I think I did all the way back in season 1. But I'm going to repeat that idea and do something quite similar to it, but using the new heads. Now, the basic premise of it is if we have a couple of these heads here, and if I place like that, and like that, these you can sit on. If we zoom around like that, you can see I'm sitting on them. So what I'm planning to do is, if I can actually get back into first person, is to have a slab on top of that, so you cannot escape. So if I just a little bit too far away, so maybe this needs to be one more block. So it needs to be no more than 2, it looks like. So if I can go like that, and I can't, of course, reach that one. So the idea is that there's going to be possibly a lava pool or something below this, so you have to use the heads. And therefore, if you just click around like this, you have to use the heads, and then you're going to move around. So that'll be one of the levels of the maze. The other one, I think, will be a traditional style maze. The other thing I'm thinking of doing is making it a 2-player maze. So there'll be 2 sides of the maze, which will be exactly identical, and you have to race your friend or your other opponent through the maze. So that's what I'd like to get done, or at least part of done today, to plan it. However, there's something I'd like to get done first. Now, you might note that I've only got one nether portal in my base. I've got one right over here in what was originally my base, or what was part of my base anyway. It's one of the old parts of my base, but I'm planning to do a little bit more work over here in the bay. I think I called it Barrow 1 Bay or something like that. Anyway, I've got a little bit of a township here, and possibly my more major part of my base, the industrial district here, with my new redstone factory and my 2 warehouses for my crops. But the downside is I don't actually have any nether portal to it yet. So what I want to do is firstly set up a nether portal and then start building a little bit of a hub around it, a mini hub if you will. So if we can firstly figure out where we want to put the portal for this one around here, and someone decided to invade my area with moss. So if we put the nether portal around here somewhere with a little bit, well, not obscure, but something that's close enough to here, and then one over here, and then we can work it out. So a little bit of work to be done here. After about half an hour of deciding of where I'm going to put this thing, I've decided to put the nether portal right in the middle, which is probably going to be moved at some point if I'm honest, but it'll have some little hut or something on top of it to guard it. So now I need to figure out, I am at 1653 and then 2600. So if I go to the right coordinates in the nether, I should say, which is going to be, let me actually figure that out. Okay, so it turns out the coordinates, if I am correct, are at 325, which is in this direction, and 206, which is in this direction. So if I build out a little tunnel this way, and then another tunnel that way, it's going to be a bit bad, I guess, but it's probably the best I can do for the time being. I'm going to have to figure out exactly what I want to do with this area, given that it's going to be rather big, somewhat like the nether hub the nether hub, and we'll have to figure it out. But for the time being, I'm actually pretty happy that I'm doing it now, because I'm getting quartz. That's definitely something I need. So what I think I'll do is I'll build the temporary portal, and then get started on the rest of the hub later, or the mini hub later. 206, it is over that little ditch, which is going to be a little bit more than annoying. It's going to be really hard actually to build this thing now. So if I actually can I mine this way and see things? Yeah, this is going to be a little bit harder than I anticipated at first. So 206, which is that block there. I definitely don't want to fall in, for sure. Okay, bam, do. If I put the block there, and then up, because the last thing I want is to fall off. So 1, 2, like that, and a little bit more. So let's get this portal underway. And a quick 5 minutes later, I've built up this one as well, which is going to be my portal. I probably will move this one a little bit later, but it's going to be the portal for the town area. So if I come into here, it should link into the proper portal over here, which is a little bit closer. And there we go. So we've got the one towards my industrial district down here, my town over here, and my, I suppose, formerly main portal over here. Now it's going to be a little bit of work to get this done, so I'll probably do that next episode. But for the time being, let's get into what we're going to do earlier today, and that is our maze project. Now I've been doing a little bit of thinking as to where I want to put my maze, and I'm thinking right over here on the left of Nutria's shop should work quite well. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to have the top of it over here, so somewhere around here it's going to be a big box with black walls and a greenery maze entrance, and then I'm going to go dig down 2 or 3 stories, and that'll be my maze. So what I need to do first is get a lot of sand and gravel. Now I do know Morgan has quite a bit of sand and gravel, but I don't particularly want to buy some because I'm going to need heaps, and I don't want to spend too many diamonds because that would be 54, and I think I'm going to need a lot more than just that. So what I'm going to do is find myself a nice gravel mountain and a nice desert, and do a quick time lapse of me finding or mining 3 shulkers of each, if I can actually arrange it correctly. So what I should probably do is actually color these 3 things so I know which one is which. But let's hop into a quick time lapse now. after that little time lapse, I've got myself the 6 shulker boxes of sand and of gravel, and as you can see, I've already started making it into black concrete powder. So the idea here, I think now, is to just gather it all, and I'm probably going to need a little bit more squid ink, is to just make myself a little bit of a house or a structure. So I'm not entirely sure how big I want it, but it does need to be rather big. So I might need to do a little bit of mining here and there to make it go. So the idea here as well is to cover this thing with black concrete, black concrete, and then where's my thingamabob? I want to make this into smooth stone and cover it on the outside like so. So I'll have a rim around it like so, and then cover this inside these walls with a bit of a maze pattern itself. So that should work pretty well. And if you recall, it's probably one I did. I'm not exactly sure if I did it on camera or not, but it's definitely something I've done before. So I've got something to go off at least anyway. And after a bit of work, we've got ourselves a sort of good maze. I guess it's sort of good. I'm not entirely satisfied with the way that it looks. I probably should have gone a couple more blocks higher. That said, I think the maze overall works pretty well. So, and yeah, you can see at the top I did something on top as well. So, looking at that, it looks pretty good. So now I'm going to have to work out what I'm going to do inside. And what I'm probably going to do is dig down quite a bit, but I'm going to do that later, I reckon. I just can't be bothered doing it today, realistically. Now, the last thing I'm going to do today is put the grass bit in. Now, of course, this is mycelium, so it's going to grow quite fast. So what I'm going to do is put a gravel barrier all the way around, and then start mine the mycelium and place it back with the dirt, which I'm going to get. So that shouldn't take too long, and let's get into it. Well, there we go. The grass is slowly growing. It's probably not the best look in the world, but what I'm going to plan to do later is just put a little bit of a grass, I guess a hedge. I do need to leave a place for a path, I think, but this could very well be the end of the road here, and then we can do something on here. I'm not entirely sure. The gravel I'm going to leave for the time being because I think it will just have to work, otherwise I might get incursions from mycelium. So that, I think, is going to bring an end to today's episode. So thank you very much for watching. Yes, I'm going to have to respond to Morgan. Thank you for watching. I'm going to see you in the next one. Goodbye.